protesters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
A bit earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler, the anti-graft court enters a not guilty plea for Sen Revilla in his Plunder case. Sen Revilla, Estrada, and Enrile oppose the creation of special courts to try their cases. And the campaign video backfires for Indonesian presidential candidate Prabowo Subianto. Hello, I'm Paterno S. Makel. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The first division of the anti-graft court SANDIGANBAYAN enters a not guilty plea for Senator Bong Revilla on charges of plunder. Co-accused Janet Napoles and Richard Cambe also plead not guilty. Revilla allegedly collected the biggest amount of commissions, amounting to 224 million pesos or about $5.1 million in an elaborate scheme involving the diversion of public funds through fake NGOs set up by Napoles. Two other senators are charged with graft and plunder over the scam. Senator JINGGOY Estrada, who has been arrested and is now detained in Camp Crame, and Senator Juan Ponce Enrile. The court hearing Enrile's case has yet to decide whether the case against him has probable cause. The Sandiganbayan junks the Ombudsman's bid to amend the plunder information filed against Senator Revilla. The amended information takes out the phrase saying alleged scam mastermind Janet Napoles used the scheme for her personal gain. The new phrasing now shows it was the senators who acquired ill-gotten wealth. Revilla's lawyer Joel Bodegon says the amendments involve substantial changes. He says the change downgrades Napoles' case to graft. Napoles faces both plunder and graft cases for the scam. Napoles' lawyer Stephen David earlier said his client cannot be charged with plunder because she is a private individual. But Republic Act 7080 says any person who connived with any public official contributing to the crime may also be punished for the same offense. Prosecutors say they are confident the original information was sufficient but had to make amendments to eliminate vagueness. Three senators charged in the biggest corruption scandal in recent history oppose the Ombudsman's request for the creation of special courts to try their cases. Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales earlier asked the Supreme Court to create special divisions in the Sandiganbayan, citing the special circumstances of the cases and the need to speed up the trial. But Senator Enrile says this puts an impartial trial at risk. He says, quote, "The highly charged and biased environment surrounding the cases gives the impression the High Court has, quote, joined the clamor for the condemnation." In a comment filed before the court, Senator JINGGOY Estrada says creating special divisions shows the administration is targeting the opposition. Senator Revilla says the Ombudsman's request is, quote, discriminatory as it is unwarranted. He says the proposal violates the Equal Protection Clause in the Constitution that guarantees all the accused speedy justice regardless of the, quote, magnitude and complexity of the case. China hits the Philippines for supporting a proposal to revise Japan's pacifist constitution, which restricts Japan from defending an ally that is under attack. In his visit to Japan, Philippine President Benigno Aquino said he supports Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's plan. This comes as the Philippines and Japan remain locked in separate territorial and maritime disputes with China. The Philippines is challenging China's expansive claims over the South China Sea, while Japan is competing with China over the Senkaku Islands in the East China Sea. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying says the proposal aims to, quote, promote the international influence of the Japanese army. Having suffered 2 wars with Japan, China is cautious about giving the Japanese army the international role that the Philippines supports. Japan put up a pacifist constitution after its defeat in World War II with the dropping of atom bombs on cities Hiroshima and Nagasaki. National Artist for Literature Benvenido Lumbera protests the exclusion of veteran actress Nora Honor from this year's roster of national artists. Observers speculate Honor was excluded because of the run-ins with the law in recent years and drug use. Lumbera says morality is irrelevant to her achievements as an artist.
If morality becomes a criterion, then mahirap nang pumili ng artist will be honored. So what will happen is the likelihood is a mediocre artist or a less than superior artist will be chosen because he has lived a very conventional life and has even contributed to the national image of good behavior and so on and so on. So yung the morality issue opens the way for the entry of mediocre artists in the ranks of the national artists.
All honorees are subject to the scrutiny of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, and Malacanang. Lumbera says the office of President Benigno Aquino should explain its decision.
Well, I felt that Malacanang would have to explain why Nora Aunor was dropped from the list. Why explain? Because Nora Aunor was not an artist known only to a few people. Nora Aunor had a national following early on. And for her to be dropped from the list of national artists, this is for Malacanang to go against the sentiment of artists who chose Nora and the fans that Nora had developed in the course of her career as an actress. Of course, she does not have to explain, but this is a case where it is not only a small group of artists who need the explanation, but a rather sizable constituency supporting Nora. And the explanation should make clear what are the motives of Malacanang and the people who advised the president against instituting Nora as a national artist.
So it's become a very political process.
Yes, yes. Well, dito sa atin, kung sino yung malapit sa mesa, yon ang nakakakain ng masasarap na pagkain. Those who have no access to that table, they remain in the periphery. The politics of friendship and service. I think Caparas had done some work for Gloria Arroyo. So he was in the favor of the president then.
Lumbera says there is no organized protest movement yet. He criticizes President Aquino for neglecting the arts.
We have issued a statement on the matter, calling Noynoy arrogant and elitist, and I don't think Noynoy has thought about it.
It's not a priority.
Wala siyang concept of cultural heritage.
A low-pressure area 190 kilometers east-northeast of Catarman, Northern Samar, brings rains Thursday. Metro Manila, Central and Southern Luzon, and Western Visayas will experience moderate to occasionally heavy rains and thunderstorms. State Weather Bureau Pag-asa says these can trigger flash floods and landslides. The rest of Luzon and Visayas will have light to moderate rains and thunderstorms, while Mindanao will be partly cloudy to cloudy with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Check out Rappler's Project Agos microsite a one-stop shop for educating the public on how to prepare better for disasters. Project Agos aims to raise awareness on climate change adaptation and disaster risk reduction and management. It can help people prepare better, respond, and aid in recovery. Visit rappler.com/Project Agos. A political campaign goes wrong for Indonesian presidential candidate Prabowo Subianto. A music video intended to draw youth support backfires after German magazine Der Spiegel noted the video showed a famous Indonesian rock star wearing a Nazi-style uniform. The video was uploaded some time ago, but the German magazine drew attention to it Tuesday when it wrote that the singer's black uniform jacket was similar to the uniform of SS leader Heinrich Himmler. Time magazine called the video one of the worst pieces of political campaigning ever. It added, "It is particularly telling that fascist imagery has been used to drum up support for Prabowo, who was discharged from the military in 1998 over the abduction of pro-democracy activists." Despite the controversy, Prabowo narrowed the gap against presidential candidate Joko Widodo. A Wednesday poll showed Prabowo only was 4% behind Widodo. Terrorist group Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, kidnapped more than 140 schoolboys in Syria last month. CNN reports the story of a 15-year-old boy named Mohammed who managed to escape the group. On May 29, armed men stopped buses carrying children to the town of Ain al-Arab and took the boys to the ISIS-controlled city of Manbij in northern Syria. The boys, aged between 14 and 16, remain hostages, except for Mohammed and 3 others who escaped. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says the boys were forced to take daily lessons in radical Islamic theology. In one instance, they were forced to watch a video of fighters cutting off a man's head. The militants told them, quote, "This is jihad for the sake of God." Mohammed's eyewitness account gives the world a closer look into the terrorist group's operations. ISIS has not commented publicly about the kidnapping, but it often recruits children for combat. Let's now look at Rappler's Rap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 5, Indonesia's disaster agency warns HAZE could return to neighboring Singapore and Malaysia. Disaster officials say the number of forest fires in Riau province on western Sumatra Island is rising. Last year, fires in the Indonesian province caused the worst outbreak of HAZE in Southeast Asia, sparking a heated diplomatic row. June is the start of the forest fire season, when slash and burn techniques are used to clear land quickly and cheaply. Experts say the El Nino weather phenomenon later this year is likely to fan the forest fires. At number 7, Google unveils its successor to Google TV, called Android TV. It's a set-top box meant to improve TV viewing experience, using the Google Play Store and partners like Netflix and Hulu to provide content. It also makes recommendations based on users' viewing habits. Thanks to this development, Google Play games are also coming to your television. And at number 9, TV journalist DIANE SAWYER steps down as the anchor of the ABC World News Nightly Newscast. The 68-year-old journalist has been with ABC for more than 2 decades and has been anchoring its primetime newscast for almost 5 years. Reuters reports SAWYER will stay with the network in a new role. ABC's weekend anchor David Muir will replace her. Before joining ABC, SAWYER worked at CBS News and was a correspondent for 60 Minutes. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories with the most clicks. Yesterday, our mood navigator was so green, now it's so red. We have many stories on our mood navigator that make people angry, like this one. Aquino Enrile deserves consideration in jail, 77% angry. And this story, embassy staff face charges for sex for flight, 65% angry. And the story that got the most number of angry votes today is this one. Revilla and Napoles face court 45% angry. All these stories contributed to the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. That's Rappler's newscast for today, Thursday, June 26, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Paterno Esmaquel. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today. We leave you with images of the Taguig City skyline as a thunderstorm swept the metro earlier, taken by the Weather Philippines Foundation.